Hey everybody, welcome to the video I'll be doing on Bitcoin. It is February 3rd, 2020, and we are approximately 3 hours away from our daily close today. What I'd like to do is take a look at, take a look at the charts, take a look at potential counts, kind of see what's going to be happening here in the short term because, we are continuing to consolidate in this range, and lots of you, I'm sure, are frustrated. So let's talk about what's happening, what's going to happen next. And of course, before I get into the charts, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So you can use this for educational purposes only. All right, we are continuing to work through a range here, and we talk about this on the Discord. We talk about there being taps in liquidity where we push up and we push down. We wick into our demand area, and then we wick up into our supply zones where we have distribution occurring. It's happening left and right. I would be venturing to say that this was also a little bit of accumulation as well. So lots of accumulation, lots of distribution, all happening in this range. And every time we push up and into one area, we push right back in, and we kind of move right back into equilibrium. And this equilibrium, this is classic because we are basically falling to the same level every time. I'm going to zoom in on this just for the sake of clarity. I'm going to remove everything down at the bottom, and I'm going to zoom right in on this price action that we've got here because it's classic. We have equilibrium right here, lots of opening and closing candles right here. We've got more here. We've got it here. This is happening left and right. And we've got wicks up and down. This level right here is just, if you push above it, you can assume it's going to be support. If you push below it, you can assume it's going to be resistance. And it recently was resistance here, and it was resistance one more time an hour and a half ago. So now this is continuing to be resistance. So I'm just basically stating the obvious now, right? It's not really helping you out. So let me talk a little bit more about what needs to happen in order for me to flip short-term bullish, okay? First off, we need to overtake a couple key levels where we have had some pivots. All right, so this level right here, I'm going to go all the way back to this level here. This is going to be at 9,400. 9,400 has been significant resistance for quite a while. And I'm just going to mark off 9,400 right here. 9,400 is pretty important because we did not close above 9,400 on our first push up into this range. We got rejected numerous times at 9,400, continuing to get rejections at 9,400. It became support here. Now, granted, the top of my range is sitting here at about 94.40, but I favor that because we had a wick up here and we had a wick down here, and that's what I'm using as the basis for creating this range. But 9400 is something that we have to push above. We have to push above 9400 in order for us to see a push up into 97 to 9900. We did have a decent push yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. We pushed up into the low 9600s. But if we can overtake 9400 again, and we did this on the second. We did this. We were consolidating up here. We had a monster move down. We had a monster move up, and we had an even more monstrous move down. Okay, so there is lots of selling pressure that is built up here in this zone. We closed up here above 95.50, and this was back on January 30th. But then when we just tried to push up above, we got a higher wick, but we weren't able to close above 95.20 even. So we're closing lower candles. If I remove these wicks, which sometimes I like to do, get rid of the wicks and not pay attention to them, we have this high, we have a lower high as far as candle closures go. Okay, now I know you can take that with a grain of salt, but That's something to pay attention to. Now, as far as our lower goes, again, looking at candle closures, we closed here, we closed here, we closed here, we closed here, and we look like we want to make another push back down. The 21 exponential on the hourly is paramount right now. So let's pay attention to what the 21 exponential has been doing. It has been support, no candle closures. We broke through and then we came back up, and then it was support, tons of support. We pushed up, we even found a little bit of support here, but then we broke down, we weren't able to close back above it, and then basically we fell. And once we came back above it, the 21 exponential became support again, temporarily, before we lost it. Okay, and so now we're at that same level again. We kind of have to pay attention to this, because right now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here, because the 21 exponential is very important for us right now. We tried to break above it here, and we got a monstrous rejection, as you know. We had a rejection here, 2 hours in a row. We had a rejection here, and we just had another rejection here an hour ago. So these are important levels for us to pay attention to. So for right now, what I'm saying is, yeah, we need to take over 9,400, but more importantly, we need to take over 93.20. We need to push above the 21 exponential just on the hourly. We're currently trading below it on the hourly, which means we're more than likely we're trading below it on the 2 hour, which we are. Probably trading below it on the 3 hour, which we are. I would venture to guess we're probably trading below it on the 4 hour. Just got a rejection there on the 4 hour. The only thing that's probably holding a little bit of hope for the bulls right now is the 12 hour, maybe the 6 hour. The 12 hour 21 exponential is sitting all the way down here at about 91.29. So these moving averages are catching up with us, which if you're bull, this is good. You want these moving averages to catch up so we can test it, and then we can take a continuation move to the upside. If I take a look at a 6 hour chart, probably looks a little bit different. So we had, I guess you could call this a test. We definitely tested it here, tested here, tested here. We broke below it. We're trying to push back above it. There's still 2.5 hours left on this candle. If this 2.5 hour candle closes below 92.90 or so, give or take, that is not good, because what this 6 hour candle has currently done, this 6 hour candle has open below the 6 hour 21 exponential, and if it pushes back down here, it has potential to close below it as well, to open and close a candle below the 21 exponential. That is a bearish sign. If we can close above 9,300, that's pretty good. Again, we still have 2.5 hours to go, so that basically takes us all the way up to the daily close, but we need to see ourselves pushing up back above this in order to see that continuation move to the upside. As of right now, I do think that Bitcoin looks a little weak. I am overly, I am overall short, maybe short to mid-term bearish. I do think that we are going to pull back, as I've been stating for a long time. Again, that, save maybe another move back up to 97 to 9,900, somewhere in that range. If you're in the Discord, we've been keeping an eye on these order books throughout the last several days. We've been watching this work itself out. But if we start to close, below this consolidation range, which is right now at 92, 92.30, somewhere in that range, if we start closing below this, and we got pretty close to it a few hours back, right? So we've had basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tests of this lower, an 8th test. I mean, how many more times does it have to test this lower before it finally breaks through? Okay. So yeah, if we break down below, especially the 200 simple and the 200 exponential, because they're both only about, maybe $20 apart from each other right now. So 9,200, if we break below 9,200, even on an hourly, and we close below 9,200 on an hourly, I mean, that's basically, the end of the road for this run. And now we're going to be looking for a pullback for a bullish retest, and then we can see higher prices. It's not going to happen super fast. The drop might happen very fast, but nonetheless, I do believe that we'll be basically looking, if we are to close below this, likely it's going to happen very fast. Probably going to consolidate somewhere between 8,900 and 9,000. If we consolidate down there, we don't see a push up, If we don't see that push up, then more than likely what's going to happen, we're going to start bear flagging here, and then we're going to see another push down. So keep an eye out for that. I know there's some, I'll call them experienced traders out there that are talking about a shoulder ahead and a shoulder pattern which is forming. That's, could be. The only thing that I don't like is that this is higher. So, maybe this is the shoulder, maybe this is the head, and we're going to be putting in another shoulder. That's certainly likely as well. I want to say one more thing before I close this video off. Um, our stochastics, we talk about those. The 12-hour still has plenty of room to move to the downside. The hourly just recently had a cross up when we were down here at 92.50 or so. We were talking on the Discord. Should I take any short-term spot buys or anything like that? And I was like, okay, well, yeah, you can buy 92.50, maybe layer down to 9200. But if we close below this green line, then we need to, cut out of that position. So, we're sitting at 9300. I mean, it's only like $55 profit right now, but nonetheless, there is the possibility that we are going to see this kind of turn up where we're going to see another move back up to 95 to 95.50, somewhere in that range. I'd love to see it close, even on an hourly basis, above 9,400 because, except for this, which I don't really count because it went up and it came straight back down, right? So, I'd love to see us close an hourly and really an open and a close above 9,400. That would be really great to see the potential for continuation to the upside. Start trading above the 21 exponential would be very nice on an hourly time frame to see a continuation to the upside. But at least from down here, the stochastics are telling me that the hourly is moving up. It probably has a little bit more upside to go. If we get to the point where this yellow stochastic and the green stochastic kind of come back down into oversold territory, I would mark that as a potential bottom, and I would be looking for a flip for a long position, or look for some spot buys in here as well. Again, this could come down a little bit more before that happens. It's going to take some time. This yellow stochastic is based on the 3-hour. It's sitting down here like 37. Really, it's got like another 20 points to go before it gets down into where I really would like to see it at, and then we can see a much larger move to the upside. So just being very cautious, being very careful. Tentatively, I'm calling this the top right here, which is again at the low 9600s. If we overtake that, then I'll reevaluate, I'll reassess. But there is the possibility that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to be putting in that 5th move, and that'll be the finishing move. Maybe we'll call it the blow off top. Every time we get above this and we start closing above this, we see lots of volume on this Darth Maul candle here, went up, came down. Then we saw lots of volume here, went up, came down. So I would say this third time we go up there, and more than likely, if we don't start closing candles up there, we're just going to get a bigger rejection. So just keeping an eye out for all of that. But at least the stochastics are telling me short term, there is the potential that we have a little bit more down, and then we probably will have another move back up. And that's where I will be looking to get some short positions, up here in this range. But that's really what I wanted to discuss on Bitcoin. Of course, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to throw in a comment in the YouTube chat. If you'd like access to our free to use Discord, just throw in a comment in the YouTube chat as well, and I'll get an invite code out to you. And like, subscribe, share if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.